Welcome back to Be Real with Jody. I'm so glad you're here. This podcast is going to be a little bit different. This is going out to all the moms, all the dads, all the parents, and we're going to be talking about how to help your teenagers with their anxiety, which is one of the most prevalent things that I see. Listen, back in the day, maybe if you're a mom or a dad, when your parents, like when you were nervous or something was hard for you, what did your parents say? You're fine, get over it, you'll be fine, right? Push you out the door. There wasn't a lot of validation or talking through things, right? And that was a little bit hard for some of us. And so in some ways, we're swinging the pendulum all the way over to the other side. And we're so worried that our kids are having a hard time that we're having anxiety about their anxiety. We're worried about their worries. We're having fear and being scared of them being scared, right? And so it's transferring onto them. And so in maybe we won't be like causing problems for our kids in the way that our parents did, but we're doing it in a completely different way. And I don't believe we have to do one extreme to the next. We don't have to just tell our kids to get over it and just buck up and you're fine. And we don't have to just feed into it and talk to them like they're broken and something's wrong with them. And we're so worried about them, right? We think that that's helping them. We think that showing them that we care and that we're worried is love. But when actuality, it's not helpful at all. So I want you to think about in your mind, if you're on a plane and you're flying, right? And there's a lot of turbulence on this plane and, they're like kind of crashing around, things are kind of falling. And what do? Who do you look to see if things are okay? You look at the flight attendants, right? The flight attendants, if there's a little turbulence and they're just chilling, they're making drinks, they're laughing, they're talking, you're like, oh, I think we're fine. Like they fly all the time, they're used to this. And if they're not worried, I'm not worried, right? So maybe 10 minutes later, the turbulence kind of gets worse, right? And you look again at the flight attendants, and all of a sudden they look scared, they're worried, they're kind of, talking quietly and, maybe telling you things like, oh, I've never seen this before. This is really concerning. If you notice that they're scared, you're like, okay, time to be scared, right? And so it's like, we look to those kind of in front of us in charge to see if we're okay when things are scary, right? And I want you to think of as a parent. What kind of parent are you? When your kids are feeling some turbulence in their life, when they're feeling those bumps, those hard things, maybe friends that don't like them or rude to them, maybe they're scared and anxious, they're not wanting to go to school. Who are you? Are you the flight attendant that's just as scared as they are? Trying to validate them, right? But if both of us are scared, what do we have? Two people that are scared, right? And I'm not saying, hey, you should be fine. You should get over it. I want to give you the tools to help your own anxiety, to help you deal with your own feelings. So you can be that calm flight attendant. You can be that one that's like, hey, listen, you can be scared. It's fine if you're nervous, but I'm not nervous. I know you're going to be okay. I have found that that's one of the most impactful phrases I can say to teenagers, to my own kids. It is completely fine that you feel how you feel, right? If they're anxious, if they're nervous, if they're worried about something, we're not going to be like, no, you're fine, or try to talk them out of it, right? Picture tug of war, right? When they're trying to tell you how anxious and worried and stressed they are or overwhelmed they are, and you try to talk them out of it, it's like they're pulling the rope to the left and you keep pulling it to the right. And we're pulling back and forth and we're both trying to talk each other out of it. And what happens is those teenagers you have they have to hold on even tighter to their anxiety, to their fear, because they need to convince you that it's valid, right? But if you're just like, yeah, I get it. It makes sense. I felt like that before. It's totally fine that you feel that way, but I'm not worried about you. That is the game changer right there. And you're like, cool, Jody, except for I am worried. And I'm like, okay, I got you. Okay. So here's the problem. We have made anxiety this like crazy monster that we talk about like it's going to take over our lives and ruin us. The truth of the matter is anxiety is a feeling in your body. It's a vibration in your body that does not feel awesome. It doesn't feel awesome, but it will not kill us. And so the thing is, we have to learn how to feel our feelings instead of pushing them down. Like if you had a beach ball and you try to push it down under the water for a while, you can hold it there for a minute, right? But then your arms are going to get tired. And what's going to happen when you let go of that beach ball? Is it going to just slowly float to the top? No, it's going to fly up in the air. And that's what happens when we push down our feelings and we tell ourselves, no, I'm fine. Everything's great. Or we tell our kids, no, you're fine. Don't be nervous, right? We're pushing it down, pushing it down. And I'm not saying we just like freak out and feel anxious, but here's the truth. If anxiety is just a feeling in your body, all you need to do is feel it. Then you can think more clearly. Then your brain, once you calm down your nervous system, your brain can kind of come online and make decisions that you actually want to move forward in your life and not live your life in the fear that you will feel anxiety. So here's what I want you to do. Think of the last time you felt super anxious or worried or stressed for your kids, okay? Can you find that feeling in your body? I know this is going to be a little bit weird, but stay with me, okay? Like for me, when I'm feeling really stressed and anxious, it feels like it in my throat. It feels like tight in my throat. I feel like kind of squeezing, right? Like it's a little bit hard to take a breath, right? It's in my throat. And then also weirdly, my legs get kind of numb. Like I feel like I can't feel my legs very good. Okay. So if I'm feeling super stressed about my kids, what I'm going to do instead of telling myself it's fine or being super stressed and worried, I'm just going to kind of take a minute and I'm going to find the anxiety in my body. And I'm going to be like, okay, I feel that tightness. Where is it at? Okay, it's in my throat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, this is anxiety. This isn't me. My name's not like Anxiety Jody. My name is Jody and I'm feeling anxiety. Same with your teenager. They are not anxiety. They don't have anxiety. They're feeling anxiety. It's a feeling. It's not an awesome one, but it's just a feeling and it's trying to protect them from something. And if we're scared of our anxiety, that's when it starts driving us crazy. So that's the only reason anxiety is running your life is because you're scared to feel it. So let's just feel it right now. So think in your mind, where is it? For me, it's in my throat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a deep breath in through my nose. And then when I let it out, I'm going to focus that air straight to the tightness, straight to my throat. I'm going to breathe out and I'm going to kind of focus with my mind to put that air right there. Okay. And I'm not going to like try to reason myself out of anxiety. I'm just going to say, this is anxiety. I'm going to breathe. And then I'm going to be like, okay, where is it? It's in my legs. Okay. I'm breathing. Right. And then you do this weird thing. Okay. Stay with me. You say like, what color is it? Okay. For me, it's kind of like black. Okay. And it's a little bit like compressing, right? I just start describing it. I just start describing what is this feeling? So for me, it's like a black, compressing, tight feeling in my throat, kind of moves into my legs where they feel tingly. And as I'm breathing, I'm just like, this is anxiety. I could feel anxiety all day. It's actually not going to kill me, right? And the more that you feel that anxiety, it's going to calm down a little bit. It's like if you were at the beach and you're standing by the ocean waves, the waves kind of come up and then they go back out again. And then they come up and then they go back out again. And that's how it will feel when you just feel your anxiety. It's going to feel really bad. And then as more you breathe and you describe it, it's going to kind of calm down. It's going to kind of come up again. And then it eventually just calms down. And so once you feel the anxiety, it's crazy. Once your body can kind of chill, then your brain can kind of come online and decide, okay, I actually know my daughter's not in danger. If I send her off on this, trip this summer, she's going to be okay. Even if something bad happened, I know there's people there to help her. I can reason my way out of it. But before you deal with that feeling in your body, your brain cannot think clearly. And that's the problem. But we want to take care of our own anxiety before we start transferring it onto our kids. So I work in a dental office and I see a lot how parents deal with their kids when their kids are scared or anxious or worried. And in no way am I saying I'm the perfect parent or I know all of these things, but I've seen what kind of helps and what doesn't. And actually just had this week, there was a girl and she was a teenager and she was so scared of coming to get her tooth, a filling put in her tooth that she wouldn't get out of the car. And so her mom, she calls and she asks us to come out to the car and talk to her. And when we go out there, the girl starts locking the door on her mom. And then we eventually get her in the office, right? And she's walking through the door and then she starts slamming her body into her mom. And I just want to preface this to say, like, this is a girl you would just see on the street and think she's totally normal. She's fine. It's not like it's like, whoa, this girl, is struggling with a lot of things. I mean, and obviously looks are deceiving, but this is not what you're thinking like, well, she has, some special needs or something. This is just like a regular teenager you see. And she's kind of slamming her mom. And she's feeling so anxious. She's getting angry. And who's she angry at? Her mom, right? So eventually her mom stays out of the room and she comes back with us. And once I get in the room, it's crazy. She just was totally fine. I said, hey, are you nervous? What's happening? And she was like, yeah, I hate the dentist. I was like, yeah, I get it. I'm like, but I've done this a million times. I'm going to take good care of you. And she's like, okay. And she was completely fine the entire time. But the crazy thing is when she was done, as soon as we saw her mom, she was so mad at her mom. She grabbed the keys, she bumped into her and she's like, I'll see you in the car. Right. And so it's like, her poor mom, okay? Her mom actually got mad at us because the truth is she's scared of her daughter in the car. Her daughter is scaring her, and her daughter's in charge here. And her daughter's scared, and she needs her mom to be that calm flight attendant. Like, hey, I get it. You don't like the dentist. That's okay. But we're going to go because this is what's best for your teeth. And you can be mad at me, and that's okay. And I love you, right? And maybe you're scared of the dentist. You're like, no, I'm scared of the dentist too. Well, guess what? You don't need to tell your kids all about it. You don't need to transfer your anxiety to them. You don't need to say, oh, yeah, it's terrible. And, it's like, listen, you can say, I get it without making it so explaining to them why you're so scared. And then they're just like, well, now we just have two scared people. Okay. So it's like, we're here to help you. And sometimes we do hard things because it's the best thing for us. And so we're going to go. And then when they're in there, call your sister, freak out, feel your feelings, whatever you're going to do. But in front of your kid, you want to be like, listen, I know you got this, and it's like, you can love them and validate them and be that strong person that's like, listen, I know you. You can do hard things. Now let's go, And so it's like the difference between the two flight attendants, some people think it's love to show how scared you are, right? But the truth of the matter is like now your teenager is just like, doesn't know who to look to. Who's in charge here? It's like the reason she calmed down when I talked to her is because I said, I get it. That makes sense. And guess what else? I got you. I'm going to take care of you. I've done this a million times. You're going to be fine. And she's like, oh, okay. It's like, she just needed someone to be like, I got you. And what does that look like in real life? It's like, not at the dentist. So it's like, they're going to an activity or a camp or somewhere that they're really nervous about going to, tryouts for something. You're like, yeah, that makes sense that you're nervous. I get it. I would be nervous too. And guess what? I know you. You're good at making friends. You're an awesome girl. And I can't wait to see how you do. Tell me all about it when you get home, right? And when she's gone, you know what? Deal with your feelings. Feel your anxiety, right? But don't just talk to her like her anxiety is going to take her life away from her, because that's what it's going to do. The more you give anxiety the power over you, the smaller your life will be, right? It's like, what kind of life do you want to live? The truth of the matter is your brain's trying to protect you. You know what it wants you to do? Stay in your room, in your bed, watching Netflix, eating sugar, right? That sounds awesome for a little bit, but what kind of life do you want? The truth is, you're going to have to do some things. They're going to have you some stress, give you some anxiety. But if you are willing to feel your anxiety, feel your feelings, you can do whatever you want. It's like, if you're not scared to feel it, and what did we say? It's tightness in my throat. That's what it is. It's tingling in my legs. I could do that, right? It's not this big scary monster that's going to swallow us up. So I'm going to challenge you. When your teenager is really nervous and scared, and maybe you are too, your number one job is to deal with your own anxiety. Is to take a minute, get some help if you need to. I would love to help you. Take some minute, learn how to feel your feelings and feel your anxiety. Then show up like that flight attendant. That is love. Love is, I get you, I love you, and let's go, right? It's like, I have full confidence in you, and it's okay that you feel nervous, and now we're going to go forward, because here's the truth. When you go to do things, we want to feel comfortable and excited and happy before we go. But the truth is, you have to do it scared. You have to do it anxious. Your brain, once it takes a chance and does it scared, once it goes through it and knows like, hey, I didn't die, I'm okay, then your brain will like, oh, okay, I'm okay. But you're not going to not feel nervous or scared before. You got to feel the feeling and go do it. And that's how you get the confidence that you're wanting. So if you want more help with this, I would love to help you. I'm going to do a class for parents that want to learn how to deal with their anxiety so they're not transferring it onto their other kids. And the last thing I want to say is, if you could delete one thing from your vocabulary, I would ask you to do this. Stop saying, I have anxiety, or you have anxiety, and stop saying that in front of your kids or explaining to people like their teachers or wherever, especially if your teenager is listening to you. Do not let them hear you say they have anxiety. That is not helping them. They have a feeling of anxiety, right? It's in them. Welcome to being a human. We all feel anxious. And is there varying levels? 100%. Are there sometimes that we need, medication or extra help? 100%. But most of the people that are letting anxiety run their lives could have so much more freedom if they, instead of making anxiety your identity, you remember who you are. You are an awesome human, child of God, loved, amazing, and sometimes you feel anxiety. And hey, if we can just feel it and move forward, you can do whatever you want to do. Let me know if you want more help with this. Let me know if your teenager wants more help with this. I would love to help you. Have a good rest of the week.